play by Paul Mccann entitled Baby in a Box. The plot of the play basically is the haves and the have-nots. The stage is divided in half with a partition. On one side is a dimly lit alleyway furnished with a skip, some bins, an old worn-out armchair, cardboard boxes and other things that get taken away from life to be dumped. On the other side of the stage divide, it depicts a local theatre company stage and surrounds. In the partition there is a back exit door that goes out into the alleyway. The partition displays two different views. A curtain can be pulled over either side for rearranging any scene or set change while the other set is in full view. On one side of the partition, there's a canvas that has been painted with a brick wall, some graffiti and pictures on the wall. On the other side of the stage, the set is that of a small theatre with, apart from the exit sign of the doorway, there are some posters and props outside the back doorway of the theatre. It lies a large cardboard box beside some rubbish bins and empty bottles on the ground. There are bits and pieces left out from offices, old computers, etc. And businesses for collection. Props can be also at the discretion of the director. And, of course, the cast of characters are various and number in excess of 10. Jill is a producer, there's Sandy, the director, Dale, who's the vagabond artist, three members of a theatre company, Father Saul the priest, Denise the drug addict, Slicer the drunk, two ambulance officers, Dr. Phil the nurse, four audience members, and two theatre staff members, media crew, TV camera and journalists, and of course the baby. Baby in a Box, setting the scene. A local theatre company is putting on a play called Art for Art's Sake. Some of the crew are rehearsing their lines. Other members of the theatre company are carrying props onto the stage, easels and paints, old mattresses and chairs. The stage is very busy. Bodies and boxes are everywhere. Rehearsal and a nervous producer brings a mixture of excitement and apprehension to the air. One of the players sits on the stage edge and two others stand. They sip some soft drink from cans and munch on biscuits and chocolate bars. Some basic static-free conversation flows quite fluently with intermittent laughing and even some nervous banter now and then. And all the lighting and PA system are getting a check out. The director of the play, Sandy, walks among the cast, issuing some crucial points to the cast, and the producer is on edge and stands up to brush her hair. The producer, she then puts on some lipstick and makeup while she looks into a compact mirror trying to deflect some of the stage lights into the director's eyes. Meanwhile, she listens to intently the instructions as dialogue begins. Sandy. Okay, people, that last reading was good, but we need to focus more on the aspects of hardship and injustice in society. The producer interrupts. Jill. Sandy, don't you think there's a risk of embarrassing people who have paid a lot more for expensive seats? Sandy. I realise you're producing the play, but I'm still the director. There is a very important issue here that needs to be addressed, and we have the perfect occasion to do that. Jill. So, this is a personal crusade or an art form? Sandy. Jill, this play has a message written within the art form. I am just translating that message for the world to hear. It's not about me or a personal crusade. Jill. Okay, so long as egos don't get in the way. Sandy. We all leave our egos outside with this one, Jill. I mean, look at me. Am I the picture of elegance? Do I look as if I use Botox to you? Jill. Can we stop right here, Sandy? It's not a good week for me. Sandy. Okay, then I'll continue directing this play my way. Jill sits down before responding. Jill. It would be good if we could work together on this one, Sandy. Sandy. Sure thing, Jill. It's always the same with you, the wise old owl who never gives up. Sure, we can work together. So what do you think we need to do before opening night? Jill. What about us all taking an early lunch break? I think the crew deserve a break. We could all sit around here all day and night getting more stressed out. And for what? Sandy. For what? I should have expected that from you. I don't suppose you have noticed how rusty we are? Jill. Sandy, all I'm saying is I think we could benefit from a lunch break. Sandy. With what? Who's buying? We've no money in the bank. The company is broke, Jill. If this play doesn't bring us in anything, we're finished as a group. Jill. Still think we need a feed. Listen, I know a place in town. We can get a free feed. They've got this little cafe not too far from here. Sandy. You mean that day old food centre run by the Christian Outreach Centre? Jill. Yeah. Have you been there? Sandy. Actually, I have. Okay. It's agreed. Let's go. Jill. Great. Things will look better once we've eaten. Sandy. Oh, thanks, Jill. Everyone walks through the back door and into the alleyway on the other side of the stage. A curtain could be drawn halfway to separate both sets. Lights fade on the theatre side of the stage and come on the alleyway side of the stage. The 5 members of the theatre company walk down the alley and off stage. A moment or two pass, and some soft lights overhead come down on the large cardboard box near the back door of the theatre in the alley. Slowly the lid of the box is opened from inside, and a character, Dale, stands up. He gets out of the box and breaks the silence. Hello! Can you hear the echo of an artist's call? There's no answer. Dale takes some brushes and paints from inside the cardboard box and paints a quick sketch of a picture on a brick wall. Little pictures, all separate. There is a noise as someone comes down the alley. Dale quickly gets back in the cardboard box. A drunk walks down the alley. He just remains on his feet and sings a kind of begging song. Slicer, the drunk. Riggs and old Riggs, hurry up, 6 a bundle. The drunk walks off stage, followed by a girl carrying a small cardboard box. She sits down on the old armchair. Soft blue lights above the stage filter down on Denise, who sits in the alley. She grabs her baby from the cardboard box and sits on her knee. She holds its hand. Denise. Hi, Bright Eyes. Listen to me. You see, here's the way it is. Things never turn out the way you plan, and you're not exactly what I planned. The babe. And some gurgling noises. Denise. What kind of life can I offer you? Look, I'm always stringing along somewhere between the high ground and the low life, getting strung out. The babe brings up some wind and gurgles. Denise. Life has given me a hard time, and I know I shouldn't make excuses, but I can't expect you to tag along. Maybe if things had been better, I could have quit drugs and we could have had some time together. Denise places the baby back inside the box and leaves it on the ground near the theatre doorway. She walks away, takes off her shoulder bag, then she dives in for a fit and spoon. From a bottle of water, she poured out some onto a spoon and heated it with her cigarette lighter, and she mixed in some white powder from the capsule and sucked it into a syringe. She took a belt from around her waist and wrapped it around her left arm just before she injected herself. She said, Denise, don't ever do this, kid. I'm telling you. Mum doesn't want you to pick up any of her bad habits. Suddenly she falls back onto the ground as the needle went through her vein. A Catholic priest who was passing by notices Denise lying there and goes to see what's wrong. When he has no response, he rings emergency from his mobile. Father Saul. Hello, emergency? My name is Father Saul, a priest from the Bay. I've found a girl. She's got a needle in her arm and I can't get any response from her. Please send an ambulance quick. Father Saul lifts and sits her upright and holds her in his arms. Denise is gasping and responds with a groan. Father Saul. God, save her, please. Denise coughs, and the priest holds Denise close. Father Saul. Hello, listen. Don't try to talk. Just listen to me. I'm a priest. Help is on its way. Just try to relax. You'll be okay. Dale climbed out from the cardboard box nearby and went over to see what the problem was. He reached out and touched the priest on the shoulder. Dale. Hello there, Father. What's happening? Is everything all right? Father Saul jumped in fright and said, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, where did you come from? What are you doing creeping up on me like that? Are you trying to give me heart failure? Another man approached from the end of the alley. He was carrying a doctor's bag. Dr. Phil. Stand back. I'm the doctor. Father Saul. My name is Father Saul. I found her, just like this, lying here with a needle in her arm. Is she going to be okay? The doctor opened his bag. Dr. Phil. Let me see. My name is Dr. Philip Rapper. Nice to meet you, Saul. They shake hands. No one really sees or acknowledges Dale in the conversation. And Dale says, Oh, and hello, my name's Dale. I'm a homeless man at the mercy of the street. Father Saul. Dale, forgive me. He reaches out his hand and they shake. Dale. I know who she is if you're interested. Dr. Phil. Who is she and where does she live? Dale. She lives on the streets. She's a junkie. I think her name's Denise. Now, have any of you a spare coin for the information? Just then, the sound of a siren is played over the PA system. Father Saul. Bless you, Dale. Come around any time. There's always a spare bed and a cup of soup if you need it. The ambulance officer introduces himself as they come onto the set. Gary. Hello, my name's Gary. Does anyone know who she is? They all say. Father Saul. I'm told her name is Denise and she lives on the street. Gary. All right, Denise, just take it easy. I'm the paramedic. Listen, guys, it would help if you all just move away from the casualty. Everyone moves away, and Gary is joined by another ambo officer. While they're checking Denise out, the conversation continues in the alley. Dr. Phil. So, Dale, you're living on the street then? Dale. Yeah, that's right. It's just a brief stay until I've got enough to rent a place of my own and maybe get some new clothes for a job interview. Father Saul. So, if it's clothes you need, I can help you there. A place of your own. Tell you, Dale, I've got connections in the shelters around here. Leave it to me. I'll get you somewhere. Dale. No harm to you, Father, but I've been to every shelter in the city, and that's why I'm living on the street. It's a lot safer out here. The officers placed Denise into the back of the ambulance and thanked Father Saul. Gary. Okay, Father Saul, thank you for your call. We'll take Denise in the hospital. I think she's going to be okay. Father Saul. Right then, God bless you. They carried Denise off stage and on a board to the hospital. Dr. Phil. So, what kind of work are you looking for? Dale. Actually, I'm an artist. Mainly contemporary, but I've dabbled with the odd fusion of motion and still life. Father Saul. I'd love to see some of your work, Dale. Dale. Sure. Dale walks over to the cardboard box and takes up his paint and brushes and walks over to the wall near the theatre door, where he adds some touches to the pictures on the wall that he had done before. He stands back and has a look at the work. Father Saul walks over. It's quite interesting, Dale. Dr. Phil. I like it as well, Dale. Dale. My exhibition night is tomorrow at 6, here in the alley. Tell all your friends. He walks around and has a good laugh. Father Saul. So, what are you trying to say here, Dale? Dale. I'm painting echoes, Father. Dr. Phil. Echoes? Dale. That's right, Doc. Echoes. Dale listens to the pictures on the wall. Father Saul. Echoes? Good God. Dale. Can you hear them then? Father Saul goes over to the wall and puts his ears up against it. The baby in the box near the theatre hallway begins to cry and scream. Father Saul. Yes, I can hear them, Dale. Dale. Thank God, I thought I was going mad. Dr. Phil. Hey, imagine that, going mad like, and I'm the psychiatrist. I can hear the echoes as well. Dale. Hang on. That sound. It's coming from over there, the back of the theatre. Father Saul goes over and he opens up the cardboard box. Father Saul. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. It's a baby. Dale. Well, Doc, that's how things go on the wild side of life, I guess. Dr. Phil. You're not serious. What's a baby doing here? Dale. It doesn't matter what it's doing here. The thing is, what are we going to do about it? Dr. Phil. Well, I don't have any idea. What about you, Father? Father Saul. Jesus, help this poor, unfortunate situation. Dale. He can't help the situation. It's up to us. Father Saul. God, why do I even bother? Sometimes maybe I should just give up. But then again, you love a trier. A noise of footsteps and chatter is heard as the theatre company return from lunch. In a moment, the alley is buzzing with people who gather around the back door of the theatre. All are intrigued and entranced by the little baby who has been left in a cardboard box. The drunk returns down the alley. Dale. All right, does anybody know who owns the baby? Jill. It's all very cold out here. Why don't we all come inside the theatre and talk about this? Father Saul. I'd love to, but I'm supposed to be at a prayer meeting. I'll call back later this week to see what progress yous have made. Dr. Phil. I'm supposed to be on a lunch break, but keep me informed. I might drop in later. Exit Father Saul and Dr. Phil. Jill. Okay, what about the rest of you? Dale. Sure thing, like why not? I've got nothing better to do. Slicer the drunk. As the rest over I've had today. They all enter through the theatre door. A curtain is pulled over to hide the alleyway scene and to provide a little bit of shelter and cover to change props. The alleyway set is removed and a new stage that is seen is set when the cast is sitting inside a theatre. After a brief moment, lights are switched on and everyone sits where they can. One by one, lots of other ideas are introduced. Jill. The baby has arrived on our doorstep. It must be a blessing. Sandy. What are you talking about? Jill. It's our free promotion ticket, everybody. Sandy. First we let the media know about the missing baby and then the police. Next thing, we release the news of a fundraising performance here. Half of the money from the show we can donate for the baby. Then we can skim off some cream off the top and I'm sure we'll be able to save the theatre company. Dell. Sounds good. What kind of play are you putting on then? Sandy. It's a play about an unknown artist who's discovered and becomes wealthy and famous. Dell. I'd like to see that. Slicer. If you don't mind me asking, is there anywhere around here we can get a drink? Maybe we should celebrate, launch the ship and kick it off, or whatever. Another player. Hey, that's a good idea. We could advise a tour of the play in dedication of all mothers who are unable to cope with their pregnancies or newborn babies. It could be the start of something. Another player. Cool, like the mother and child reunion thing. Jill. Yes, I can see it now. On the road, a mission bus, the travelling theatre. Slicer. I'll drink to that. Let's get that show on the road. Dale. I think it would be nice to make a commitment here now, and that we all get involved with finding the mother of this baby. Sandy. What if the mother's dead or she doesn't want the baby? Jill. That's okay. We can use that to boost the need for a support network here at our theatre. Sandy. You mean like a drop-in centre? Jill. That's right. We can provide a child-minding facility. Another player member. We can get some childcare people in and run sort of support classes for single mothers. Jill. Right. We might even be able to build a cluster of houses to provide shelter for homeless mothers and their kids. Another player. A great idea. We could run trips for emotionally upset mothers and their babies. Dell. I could give evening art classes here to provide money for the centre. Then we could sell off the artworks at the auction if we all get the business end of town in on our side. Who knows what we could do? Jill. Did you say you could teach art lessons? Dell.
Yeah, well, that's what I used to do before I lost my job.
What is your name? Said Dell.
I'm known as Del Dab.
What is your current position?
About.
Sandy. It's called Art for Art's Sake, and it's a play about an unknown artist who is discovered and becomes wealthy and famous.
Haven't I heard that before? I like the sound of that.
Sandy. Have you ever done any acting, Dell?
Dell. I've been an actor of sorts for most of my life. Once I played the part of Tom Sawyer. As a boy, a scout, and I was cast in the role of the Virgin Mary in a Christmas play for the local community. And as a child, I sang the role of St. Francis in a musical at the school.
Jill.
Right then, you're in. Welcome to Babe's Theatre.
I'll draw up an agreement tonight for you to sign. Where do you live?
Dell. Not far away from here.
Jill. Where is that?
Dell. You can find me most nights in a large cardboard box outside in the alley.
Jill. Right. From tonight, you're officially moving here into the theatre. I'll get you some things to sleep on. Slicer.
I am not a work actor.
Jill. I can see that. Okay. What's your name and where are you sleeping? Slicer.
I stay at the park, sometimes under the bridge. Slicer. That's what people call me. I'm the Slicer. I got it from the butcher. One of the jobs I did on a Friday night was slicing up the bacon. The name has stuck with me.
Jill. I'll tell you what. If you try to stay on the wagon, Slicer, you're in, okay? Do you think you're up to it? Slicer.
All depends if I can make any promises, but I'll give it a go. If you lie for the recovering alcoholic in your midst.
Jill. Why not? It's up to you, Slicer. What do you think, Sandy? Have you got a part for our two new members in the cast? Sandy. I'm going to rewrite some of the scenes in the play. I think I can include Dell and Dab as the artists and Slicer as the guilt-ridden school principal. Some of the other scenes might need a narrator to inform the audience of the storyline, but I'll put in the script. Jill. Right. Everyone, thanks for your attention. Can we all be here early tomorrow morning for rehearsal in Arts for Art's Sake? Everyone exits out the door and the curtain is drawn over. Six months later, one part of the stage has been set to resemble the reception of a foyer of a theatre. There is the ticket or box office and a doorway to the theatre with two theatre staff at the entrance to the theatre. In the reception area, there is a small cafe and food area. Some artworks on display are on sale. The works are attracting some attention. A steady flow of people are coming and going in and out of the foyer. Media crew make an entrance with cameras and lights. A well-dressed man holding a microphone is accompanied by some female journalists holding digital cameras, notepads and pens. The media crew converge around some of the theatre company. The first person to be interviewed is Sandy, the director. The camera is fixed on Sandy. The interviewer. We are talking live to Sandy, the director of Art for Art's Sake. Sandy is... It's really fantastic how people have answered the call for help. Do you know the secret benefactor who has donated the funds to build the centre? Sandy. No, and that is still a mystery to us all. After our broadcast, we went to air recently. We were contacted by a solicitor about a wealthy man who wanted to donate $2 million to help build a sanctuary off the street for all those in a crisis situation. We were, of course, all overwhelmed. Things since have all just snowballed. The climax to all of what has happened already is, for me, tonight's performance. The man with the microphone turns to interview some other people. The cameraman follows him. They move toward a group of people, including Father Saul, Dr. Jill, Dr. Phil, and Jill. Interviewer. We are here live tonight at Babe's Theatre. Father Saul, if I can just ask you first about the response so far from your parishioners to support the Mother of the Street Centre. Father Saul. Well, yes. I have a group of people committed to alleviating the needs of people living on the street. We are providing assistance financially, physically, and spiritually. We do not want another baby to be left in a cardboard box anywhere in the city. We at St. Jude's believe nothing and no one can be a hopeless situation. We felt that it is high time for us to act, if you forgive the pun, to save as many souls as we can. Interviewer. The baby that was originally left at the back doorway of the theatre, left, Father, where is that baby now? Father Saul. You don't have to look very far. It's over there in the box office with its mother selling tickets for tonight's premiere performance. The interviewer. How did you locate the mother? Father Saul. Maybe you should ask the producer of the theatre company that question. The camera swings to Jill. Interviewer. We are talking to Jill, the producer of tonight's play. Jill, just how did you find the mother of the baby left at your door? Jill. Actually, you did it for us. After your network broadcast the story about the baby in a box and what we were planning to do, some special magic happened. The baby's mother was, at that time, in a hospital bed, watching the whole thing and had a change of heart. She contacted us, and the rest is history. Interviewer. Is she well enough to talk with us tonight? Jill. Maybe you should ask the doctor that question. The camera swings to Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil. I don't think so. At present, she is on a drug withdrawal program and is going through a difficult stage. It might be best to leave her out of this interview. The camera swings to the corner where some art canvases are displayed for sale. The interviewer walks over and comments. Interviewer. All of these artwork that you see here are the original works of Dale, one of the players in tonight's performance. He is donating all the money from the sales of his work to the centre as a way of contributing something back. Interviewer. Dr. Phil, could I ask you about some of the people who have helped you so far? Dr. Phil. After the broadcast of your special Street Mothers, we contacted Community Health Team and began to take a serious look at applying for funding for a drop-in centre here at Babe Theatre. We were very pleased to have an immediate response from the government. We have set in place a strong set of standards, and within the next few years a number of facilities will be developed to provide ongoing support for the disadvantaged sector in our communities. Interviewer. Father Saul, do you think God is at work in all of this, and is there a message for all of us? Father Saul. I would say most definitely yes. There are a number of things being said to us if you have the ears to listen. Like do unto others and love your neighbour as yourself. I think it's a miracle what has happened. People have come together from all sides of the community. Both rich and poor have lent their support to feed the hungry and give shelter for the homeless poor. Interviewer. We are speaking here tonight to Father Saul from St. Jude's live at Babe's Theatre in the Bay. Father Saul, may I ask you about the Beat the Street mission you are proposing? Father Saul. Why, sure, thank you. We at St. Jude's are taking a bus on the road. We are hoping to reach out to those who are in need. We are offering free clothing and hot food. There will be counselling for anyone who needs it. There is also a prayer and reconciliation connection with the Beat the Street mission. Interviewer. How can people who are watching tonight get involved, or is there any way they can help? Father Saul. At this stage, I would ask people to keep their prayers going for us. There are miracles, and we do them every day. If you are watching this tonight and you want to get involved, call into St. Jude's at the Bay and leave your contact with the Beat the Street team. Even if you just want to inquire about someone, just come. We are there to learn and listen. Who knows what we can achieve together? Help us out and you'll find you'll be helping yourself out in the process. Interviewer. Thank you, Father Saul. Father Saul. You're very welcome. Thank you for your support. The media crew pack up and make their exit. After they're gone, a small crowd is gathering for the premiere of the play. A group of 4 people walk over to the cafe in the reception area and order coffee and some cakes. Then they begin to gossip away before the show starts. The 4 in the group are debating issues over who among them is more important. Their plastic personalities have pulled the wool over everyone's eyes. The chatter is almost deafening. Then there is a lull. First of the audience members. I had some extensions done to my latest extensions last week. I decided to have one room for my trophies. Second in the group. I just had an extension to my garage. I brought another Porsche and needed 3 parking bays. Response from the third. Well, I have just had a new custom paint job for my sports car. The mechanic who looks after it says it's the fastest thing he has ever driven. The fourth member in the group. I'm thinking of a new garden around the house. It is going to take in the carport or the garage. I have chosen all the plants myself. The landscaper who is going to do the work is regarded as one of the best in the country. There are a lot of laughs and loud comments from around as they stand waiting for the show to begin. Everyone was better than everyone else, and everybody was so popular. Everyone was so cool, at least in their own eyes. But there was a stranger in our midst, who was Dale. Dale was sitting near at the door, at the back of the foyer, and just observed the crowd. Some were buying his pictures, and others were making comments about the work. There were a mixture of things that were being said. Some people were comfortably numb by the whole experience. Others were just full of self-importance that nobody could measure up to themselves but themselves. All in all, it was a usual arty kind of crowd. There stood people eating cakes and sipping hot coffee. And through the PA system, the bleeping sound was heard to call the audience into their seats. As the final notes came through, the audience all mustered through the door into the theatre. Dale, walking around checking how many paintings were sold, he made his way over to the box office, picking up a discarded paper cup, half filled with hot coffee. And he drank it. Dale.
Well, Denise, you're looking great.
Denise.
Yeah, a lot better. A lot better now than I was about a month ago.
Dale.
The babe looks great. A picture of health.
Denise.
I don't know how I can ever repay all you guys for what you've done for us.
Dale.
If you get straightened out and survive, that is all the thanks we need, Denise.
Denise.
I'm doing that, Dale.
Dale.
You certainly are.
Denise.
By the way, 7 of your pictures were sold tonight.
Dale.
Cool. How many bums and seats do we got here?
Denise.
It's a full house.
Dale.
Then I guess I better get ready for the show.
Denise.
Yeah, I guess you better. You got the leading role, don't you, Dale?
Dale.
Yeah, I'm Rob, the artist. Wish me luck.
Dale blows a kiss to both mother and child. Denise closes the box office and puts all the takings into a box. The curtain is drawn over the foyer reception area and all the house lights are dimmed. On the other side of the stage, a new set has been arranged. It depicts an empty classroom with a blackboard and desks. Cobwebs hang from the ceiling, windows and door. Looks like it has been deserted for 100 years. There's a young man sitting at a desk. The voice of, as a narrator off stage, opens the scene. Returning back to an old classroom is something not many people ever do, but for Rab, he has decided to return to the place where he had once sat as a child. He never got away or got on with anyone or anybody at school. Rab had been a real pressure cooker. That's how the teacher described him in his final school report. Even when they said he had behavioural management problems. No one listened. Rab was a real handful for his parents. So he got used to punishment early in his life. His teachers had ignored him in class. They said he was impossible to teach. Tagged a junior delinquent, Robert was told he would have a hard road ahead in life. They said he would never get a steady job. The thing was, no one really understood him. No one was able to give him the time he needed to develop. A knock came to the classroom door. Rob. Come in, it's open. Slicer, dressed as an old school principal, walked inside. Slicer. Rob, I got something I need to tell you. Rob. Hello, sir. So you've contacted me after almost 20 years. To say sorry? Well, sir, as you know, I'm quite a busy man these days. Slicer.
I know that, but I can't let it go unsaid, Rab. We were so wrong about you back then in the old days. Rab. Oh, yes, those grey old days when everything had to be in black and white. There was no room for colour, no place for being artistic. Slicer. If I died today, I would never rest at peace. Please forgive me for the things I said to you in this classroom many years ago. Rob. Well, sir, if you put it that way, of course I forgive you and all the rest of the teachers who never saw beyond their own perimeter of education. Slicer. That's why I called you Rab. Rab. Yes, the problem was back then you never knew how to apply yourself to where I was at. I could not ever achieve the academic edge, as you often put it. I was useless, if I remember rightly, but look at me now, sir. All of you educated men are eating your words. School for me was a nightmare, but for all of you teachers, it was a playground. Slicer. Oh, out of all your old school teachers, Rab, I am the only survivor. I am also speaking on their behalf. We are sorry. Please accept their apologies and mine so that justice and healing can begin. Rab. My practical work wasn't too bad, sir, was it? Slicer. Robert, you ended up top of the class. Rob laughs again. Maybe that's why the other boys hated me, sir. Both their laughing is now shared. Slicer. So, before you found fame, what exactly did you do when you left school, Rab? Well, sir, said Rob, I was determined I would survive. So, day at the local fair, I won a horse in a boxing tournament. And after that, I made a cart from scrap timber and became a kind of travelling salesman. Slicer. That was very inventive, Rab. Tell me about that. Rab. Well, sir, I first painted business signs for shop owners in town for different people. Before long, they called me Vincent Van Rab. Next thing I knew, I had a big order to do some sketches for tourists, and then I had my first art exhibition. Slicer. It saddens me that none of the teachers had picked up your gift with art at school. I suppose no one ever took any notice of your first sketches on scraps of paper. In truth, Rob, the teachers had given up on you, and no one was able to encourage you. Rob. Maybe it was the best thing after all. An artist lives a lonely, isolated life. Slicer. I suppose it would be referred to as a calling. Rob. Sure, but not many hear that call. Not many are inspired. Slicer. Thanks for inspiring so many others with your work. Rob. If that's all, sir, I really have to go. I have to catch an airplane, and as you know, I am a busy man these days. Slicer. Sure, thanks for giving me some of your time today. Both men walk off stage, and the curtain is pulled across the classroom set. The curtain opens on the other side of the stage. The set resembles an art gallery, and there is an art exhibition taking place.
Some members of the cast are dignitaries and people from the art world. There are waiters handing out drinks from silver trays and canvas food, and there are art critics standing around looking at one of the artworks on display. Theatre player. Hey, that's it, Everspace. I love the existence of the mother's inability to cope. If only I could afford to buy this. Another player. I like the way Rab adds the vivid slice of colours here and there in the background. It shows a confidence edge to the talent. Suddenly someone with a microphone makes an announcement. Thank you for coming along this evening. By your attendance, we are giving this brave new collection of works a place to reside in the society. Just arrived from overseas, we have Vincent Van Rab, the man himself, to launch the exhibition. Rob makes his entrance. There was some applause, and some of the players call, Speech! Speech! After a beat of silence, Rob takes the microphone. Rob. I must apologise for my scattered hair and untidy appearance. In the hurry to catch my flight, I had no time to book a manicure. Some rolling laughter. I had no time either for my critics, who are not present tonight. I have made sure that they are locked out from our world. We, the unseen members of the art world, are a vital, non-existent part of society. We eat from rich tables the rarest fruit. We sit on elegant toilet seats and answering to no one but ourselves. The only thing that has kept us ahead of the rest is our hunger, new faces to paint, and the desire to find images in this beloved but bleak existence we call life. So, thank you for coming to view my new collection. My portraits await your checkbooks, and do not be afraid to be generous. Enjoy! Cameras flash and the audience give their loud vocal appreciation and begin to push their way to grab one of the works and shake the hand of the artist. The pictures are sold very fast and checks are written out and handed over. The curator. Well, Rab, I must say I have never seen anything like that before. Everything on display went. It has been the best exhibition we've ever had at the gallery. Rob. That calls for a celebration. Let's go and have a drink at the underground bar near the quay on the docks. As everyone makes their exit, the curtain closes from the art gallery side of the stage. On the other side of the stage is set and arranged. It looks like a bar. On a small stage, a lady plays a guitar. Some couples sit around the tables. At the bar, sitting on a stool, is a docker. He looks rough and has a few drinks, too many. Enter Rob and some members from the art gallery. Rob takes a seat at the bar near to where the docker's sitting. Rob. I got a number of guests. We're out celebrating, so I must ask you to move. The doctor. Away you can go, Charlie. Rob. Maybe you don't know me, but I'm Van Rob, the artist. The docker. My name's Yank, and I'm the low docker. If you don't get your face out of my way, I can guarantee I'll make you a work of art even you would be proud of. Rob. If I may point out to you, Yank, I have a name in this city. The docker. Listen, Fawn, I'm not going to beg. I'm not that big in the art world, so your name means nothing. As a matter of fact, do you know who I am? Rob. You're a low docker. The docker. I'm Yank the Crank. Rob. Yank, you seem like a good man. The docker.
It's been a difficult day, so do me a favour and disappear before I put a fist in your face.
Rob.
Yeah, don't wait to cause you any pain, so I'll tell you what. Just walk out now while you still are able to.
The doctor lifted a glass. Rob could see he was about to smash it into his face, so he grabbed the doctor's arm. As hard as the doctor tried, he could not move it any further. Rob took the glass and placed it to one side. Then he covered the bar with some notes and told the barman that the rest of the evening all the drinks were on him. The doctor made his way over to the table and sat down quietly, nursing his sore arm. After this, a girl on stage playing the guitar. She walked over to the bar and placed her arm around Rob. Rob.
Good evening, Molly. I see you're still got a soft spot for me.
Molly.
Oh, sure. Have you still got time to spare?
Rob.
Sure, how much time do you want? Haven't I always said when I'm in town, my time is yours?
Molly.
Rab, so tell me, are you sure you can do it for me?
Rob.
No problem about that.
Molly.
Well then, what do you want? An open invite?
Rob.
Where do you want to do it?
Molly.
I've an upstairs room, not far from here.
Rob.
Okay, I just have to pick up some brushes and paints. Okay.
Molly.
Rab, you're a darling. Do you know how long I've waited for you to do a portrait of me?
Rob.
Oh, must be a while, I'm sure. Sorry, Molly, I'll do it now. Listen, everyone, the drinks are on me. Have a great evening. I must go to answer a calling. Art for art's sake, if you know what I mean.
Rob pushed his way out the door with Molly, and the curtain is drawn on the bar scene. On the other side of the stage, the curtain opens to reveal a new set. It is that of a small, simply furnished room. A small table and chair sit in the corner. In the middle of the floor, there stands a easel with a canvas on it, and Rob is standing with some paints and brushes in his hand, painting Molly, his subject, who is sitting at the table. Molly has a cigarette in her mouth. Molly.
Give me a light, will you, Rab?
Rob leaned over and looked into her face. He stood back and checked another profile. Eventually he produced a box of matches and lit Molly's cigarette. Rob.
So tell me, Molly, is this picture for you?
Molly.
No, it's for my cousin Michelle, who lives in America. I want to send it over as a Christmas gift for her. She hadn't seen me for 10 years, and I thought it would be a good way to show her I haven't changed.
Rob grabbed some more paints and placed his hand on the easel. He stood as if inspired with sudden greatness. Immediately he began to dab and stroke out an image with a single brush onto the canvas. Rob.
I'll make it special for you, Molly, like you're a visitor. And where did you say your cousin was from?
Molly.
She's from Paris.
Rob.
Right, hang on. Hold up this for me, will you?
Rob handed Molly an empty wine bottle. Then he grabbed from a spot under the table. Molly took the bottle and held it up. Molly.
I saw one of your new works in the art market in the city yesterday, Rab.
Rob.
No, you didn't. So don't lie to me, Molly. That's too high. Hold the bottle down in front of you as if you were pouring a drink for a friend. Yeah, that's it.
Molly.
They say that you donated most of the money to orphans and people with special needs.
Rob continued to dab away as if he was in a trance. Molly.
Yes, just by a few years. My sister's older than me, you know, Rob. Oh, that sister of yours. Tell me something about her. Well, Molly said, she tells me everyone loves art in Paris.
Rob,
Do you know what I think? Maybe you should go over and live with your cousin Molly there for a while. Would be a nice change for you, Molly.
Rob stopped and dropped the brushes. Then he walked out of the room. Molly got up from the table and walked over to look at the painting. When she saw the work, she was amazed. Molly,
That is just a perfect picture.
she walked over to the corner of the room and lifts a little baby from a small cardboard box. She kisses the baby on the cheek and says,
If only we could afford to go to Paris, my little Michel. Who knows? We just might get enough money from the sale of this painting to make it.
The curtain drops and the play is ended.